Welcome to the weekly watch list. This is where I'm going to dive into some of my top picks for the week and show you what I expect to happen. Okay, so looking at the picks for the week, we've got gold, we have silver, palladium, New York cocoa, and Bitcoin, all in a potential bullish direction. So looking at gold, first of all, one of the key things remember I'm looking for is to make sure probability is on my side. As you can see with gold, we have quite a nice kind of bullish trend that's kind of happened. You can see we've kind of had the potential the continuation pattern continue on. Okay, we're looking very clean right now until the next key level that I've picked out, which is going to be around the 2850. Now, there's two ways that I'm going to be keeping an eye on trading this. It's going to be one where I'm getting in a bit more of a relaxed position where I'm going to get in and hold for like the duration of like a week or maybe longer. Or I can be a little bit more proactive where I'm getting in and out within a day or within a few days. Now, the difference between them two is going to be the setup or what I call the bus stop. The bus stop for, let's say, the slightly longer term trade is going to be at the daily 10 and 20 EMA. This is where I'm looking to kind of take a trade where I can relax a bit more and hold it for a longer duration. Or I'm looking for a shorter time frame. I'm going to be paying attention to the 4 hour setup where, again, I'm going to be looking for some of these nice setups on 4 hour bounces, clean bounce off the 10 and 20 to then confirm my move. So looking at gold right now, short term wise, I would say a little bit overbought. Why? Because the price has left the EMAs quite a bit at the moment. So for me to be able to take a bit more of a comfortable position where I can get in and relax, doesn't require much of my time. I'm probably going to need a little bit more of a pullback in the market before that can happen, or it's likely to kind of go sideways. So probably not expecting too much at the moment. So I wouldn't say this is a trade I'm maybe going to rush into on Monday. But wait and see what happens on Monday. If we can get a little bit of a pullback, a little bit of a retracement, I'd be keeping an eye on this maybe Tuesday onward to take a trade. Or if you want to be very aggressive in that kind of short time frames, you can pay attention to that 4 hour setup where you can see it's not too far away at the moment, where you can then keep an eye for a setup. So the choice, I'm going to look at both. I'm going to look at shorter term trades and a bit more relaxed trade, but it's just always important to understand that the relaxed trade isn't going to come just yet. We need to see further pullbacks before that can happen. Moving on to the list is going to be silver. Silver and gold will be quite similar, but gold at the moment has actually just started outperforming silver. As you can see, silver's kind of just coming out of this downwards sort of pullback or downwards trend. But as you can see right now, silver looks quite good in terms of a daily setup. Now, silver does typically do quite well in February. I know we're not quite there yet, but again, it's just early signs that we're seeing that things are setting up for a nice month in February. Um, as you can see, we've just had that daily setup. So I'm going to be very close to silver and keep an eye on this on tomorrow or Monday to look for a potential trade. And this is one where I'd be looking to get in a bit more of a relaxed position and hold it for the duration, maybe a week or two. And this is the key level that I've picked out to be able to keep an eye on where my potential target is going to be. Moving on next is palladium. So palladium at the moment, again, normally does very well January, normally does very well February from kind of a seasonality kind of cycle point of view. And as you can see right now, it's going quite well. Had a very good start to the year and it's expected to continue on into February as well. Same situation kind of as gold, where ultimately we need a little bit more of a pullback before we can look to take any action for like a longer term sort of position. But you do have them 4 hour windows that also are available. You can see currently in one right now. So you can get maybe a bit of a confirmation out. Then maybe we kind of have played in where we could kind of be keeping an eye on as well. Next one we're going to kind of go to is going to be New York Cocoa. New York Cocoa looking very good. We've seen this kind of continue on. We've seen that kind of pennant pattern finish. We're now just looking to take the positions to the back up to kind of the all-time high. A little bit away, not too far away, but probably not going to be ready on Monday for more of a comfortable position to take into. So if you're looking at Monday trades, I will be looking at Monday trades. I'm going to be keeping an eye on this sort of setup. You'll see maybe just miss one on kind of Friday night. So when I'm looking at short-term trades, I don't really like to take a trade on a Friday and hold it over a weekend. I don't really like to trade on a Friday full stop, unless it's a very short-term in and out within the day. I don't tend, even short term, even with a daily setup, I don't tend to really get into a Friday onto the week over the weekend. The reason being is it's more prone for a gap. Um, Last thing you want is a gap because then it can cause more damage. It can go a lot past your stop loss and so on. And we can go into that in a lot more detail in another video. But yes, ultimately, I'd wait. I'd like to see maybe another little retest before taking a 4 hour setup or a slight retest on the daily. So New York Cocoa looks very promising. Maybe later in the day on Monday, probably not going to start out with New York Cocoa, but definitely keep an eye on throughout the week. And then we've got Bitcoin. Bitcoin's constantly doing very well at the moment. Um, what we're seeing right now is it's currently a little bit away, but not too far away. So very good price action. I really like where this is at the moment. Would like to see just a slight of pullbacks before getting into a trade, or again, keep an eye on that 4 hour setup throughout the week. But again, typically Bitcoin does tend to do quite well going into February this time of year as well. So very promising to keep an eye on Bitcoin to see how we get on from here. Hopefully you enjoyed my weekly watch list and you get to understand why I've picked these assets for the week. Do make sure to follow the page so you don't miss out on any of my future watch lists. And of course, if you have questions regarding the assets that I've picked, do feel free to send me a DM.